In this segment, we're going to cover some stretches from the Upper Body Volume 1 Athletic Reformer Workbook. So we're going to move to Section 6, which is stretches, and we're going to cover the last two, which is rotation, chest opener, and thigh stretch, kneeling floor. So you can see at the floor, I'm standing on a mat. I've got three things here. Let's go ahead and cover them. This is the baby arc. And I'll show you really quickly that we have this as an option for kneeling work. We also have the moon box. And I just want to show you guys these because if you have them, you can use them as propping. You can use the moon box. Or my favorite choice, the Hooked on Pilates soft foam arc. Also, it's just very comfortable, especially if you're going to be doing some stretches for a duration or a while. And also, you don't need any kneeling. The problem sometimes with people in thigh stretch per se, let's just say when you're doing thigh stretch, that to plantar flex, they can cramp in their feet, plural. They can they'll cramp. Sometimes even going back, they're going to get a little bit of hamstring and knee pain and hamstring tightness or cramping. So by putting them on an arc or lifting their knees up, takes this out of the equation, stretches the calves, and also prevents the hamstrings from gripping. So give those a try. First one we're going to do is I'm going to cover chest rotation opener. Now, there isn't a lot of room in the book, so you might want to just kind of open it up to the back or use some of the note sections from the other that you're not using. Just, reference page 156 notes if you want to do that. If you find that there's one or a page or something you're not using. Next print, I'll be sure to add some more blank note sections in the back. So we're going to cover the basic. Let me talk to you about this one because you can do it kneeling, you can do it in a lunge, you can do it with that. My preference is the outside leg because it helps stabilize the pelvis. I'm going to show you, I believe as is, I did it on a spring. Actually, I didn't. Yeah, I don't talk about springs in this one, I think. So let me just show it to you with a yellow on. And my chest is really super tight today. I just did an hour chest video. So I'm going to start with my hand pressed against it. I'm going to kind of flex forward at my left hip and knee, extend my right hip. I can do this with the foot also flexed, whatever my preference is. So play around with those. I'm going to close the chain, so I'm going to lock my left hand to my left thigh, whatever's comfortable. Just try different hand positions. And slowly let it pull back just into shoulder extension, keeping the elbow tight. That's going to get that anterior shoulder to stretch a little bit. So that is a prep for the chest opener rotation. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let it come back. Place my hand on the box edge farthest away from me. And if you can see, this is closest, this is farthest. And that's where I'm going to start, just pushing out and then let it pull me in. I can either keep the elbow bent, push lightly out, and just let it pull me into that stretch, or I can start rotating. So make sure if you start rotating and it's pulling too much, please do some other stretching. This is great to do following a really great chest workout. You can see how minimal I am rotating. Now, for a shorter arm length, or if you want to go out farther, you can always bring the arm to the box edge and just start rotating. So with the carriage totally closed in this position, it's very restricted range of motion. If you want to go to the back, it's going to help. And then I would say for beginners or anybody who's tried this the first time, just rest your hip against the frame. So that'll help stabilize. And then rotate. and then let it stretch and rotate. You can open that chain and add the arm out if you want. And I'm taking it really easy on this one because I'm super, super tight in this pec. Look over my right shoulder as the carriage starts to close. Open my left arm, start to look over my left shoulder, having that rotate me and pull me into that stretch. So I'm going to move back closer, put my hand back on the opposite end, and this is an optional prep for you. You can also take the hand on top of the box or aside the spring side. It's very important just to try different variations of this. So when your hand is close and when your hand is on the other side of the box and you're closer with the carriage closed, the amount of spring tension is decreased immensely. So make sure you find a hand position, whether it's at the box side edge closest to you or farthest away from you. You want to try them both. Rotate and back. So that is with a yellow spring. You can take this and go full range of motion now that you don't have a spring on. Take the hand on top of the box or find a position where it allows you to stretch and move in and out. There's nothing right or wrong with this. It's whatever feels good. And I've had students say they like their hand here, they like it here, here. Some of them like it on the box. And so I had one student, she liked doing it here. So she was getting a pec stretch here, she was getting a pec stretch there without having it go behind her. So that's fine too. You can just reach and open here. You don't have to take the arm behind you because just rotating with it in front is plenty enough. You can bend the elbow, reach it out, and I'm sure you've seen this variation in some of my different videos. So let me show you without the box, and let's just use the arc instead of being on the floor. This also will change the position of the arm. By lifting you up, the arm is here as opposed to here. So you can change how you want to do it. You can do this, press the thumb into it, twist. So basically it puts the right arm, the carriage arm, at a low V. You can also add some extension and rotation if you want. Place the hand on the box, up, rotate. Put your hand on it. You can add some hip extension, up, and rotate. So try different choreography, different ways to do this, but using the basic kneeling lunge with the box on is going to raise the arm up. Now let's talk about shorter reformers before we move on to thigh stretch. This is going to mimic a shorter reformer. So let's say my knee is on the floor, not here, because I've got the 18-inch height. You might find that this is where the hand is, and you want to get the arm up here. Just prop it up. You can either put the moon box on and back, just to get the arm higher. If you want to give it higher even more, just find something that you can put on it. Obviously, this is probably not the best decision to make. I could put the arc. That would be stable. That would also get my hand a little higher. So I could do this, get the stretch. I can do the one behind me where I stretch there and back and then there. So just by getting the arm on the box in a position, and with the shorter reformers, just prop the arm up if you want to get it at shoulder level or not. Without without the box, you can, let me show you one last thing. Let's say you do have the 18-inch or your standard 14-inch height, and you want to get the arm up. Simply do it like this. Here is hand in front. Here is hand on the carriage. Center. If you want to do, I'm so tight in my hamstrings today. Teach me to do 3 full-length video classes in one day strength. My whole body is really tight today. So there is that. I can take it behind me, and I can start here and let the carriage kind of move where it needs to. So that's hand in front, hand aside, and hand behind. Just really prevent, and I'm going to move out a little bit more for this one, just because, yeah. So I'm going to start here, rotate to my right, sweep the arm out as the carriage begins to move back, and then rotate. Trying to prevent any movement, letting the carriage move with you. So try those out. Let's go over, so that's 156 rotation chest open kneeling floor. The box, the shoulder rest, the carriage, arm in front, arm aside, and arm behind are variations to do that. So try those all out. We're going to move on to the 157, which is thigh stretch kneeling on the floor. So I'm going to show you as shown in the it's static. I did this one static. So I did foot bar up. So here is how it's shown, and you can see that I've got the wide foot bar, so the hand is right here on the widest edge, which is very comfortable. And let me just show you there. So as close as I am, and if you have the trapeze table, the Cadillac, you know the push-through bar series here. So just straightening and bending. I really enjoy doing thigh stretch kneeling on the floor as opposed to the carriage because it takes the fear away for a lot of students going backwards. You can add arm stretch, going further into extension and back. You can add rotation if you want. Take the arm, stretch the pec, slide the arm back, rotation. You can sit down, sweep the arm, stretch. You can add some different choreography. Play with a step out. Here, side bend, back in, thigh stretch. That's standard. So let's say you don't have the foot bar that goes up. You don't have the wide foot bar. Grab it anywhere that you can on the side. Pad if needed. If yours are not round and you need to pad the hand, just pad the hand and do your thigh stretch there. Keep it simple. I've also done it where I'm at the front here, and I've done the thigh stretch prepping with 2 hands on. So you can do a lot of different variations with kneeling on the floor thigh stretch. This is an option with inside leg forward. Engage that glute, lift, abs, spine, stretch. So you can see having the foot bar forward decreases my range of motion. Bringing it back towards me into a vertical position is going to help increase it. You can do either front leg or inside or outside leg. You can do both sides of the carriage, one side of the carriage. So try those different. The other one that was suggested to me, and I thought was quite brilliant, was start with it at your breastbone and then thigh stretch from inside the carriage as well. I can move back, bring one shin forward. I can do left hand on the bar. And let me show you facing the camera. And get myself to the bar center. Left shin forward, right leg back, and just stretch. And the great thing about this foot bar that has that round surface is you have a lot farther you can go. You can do both knees down, both hands on, right leg forward, left hand off, and stretch. So try those different ones with this larger foot bar. It gives you a lot more options, whether you want to do it facing it, outside, or at the front of the reformer. The last but not least I'll show you is that kneeling variation you can do. Knees on, whether you're using the Minimax Arc, the Baby Arc, or the Moon Box, just find one that works for you. You can see how easy that is. I'm going to show you an advanced series that you go back for 1 rep, come up, switch arms, rotate. Back, switch arms, rotate. So adding a little rotation is nice. This is much easier to do with this reformer. If you're going to do that on the standard reformers, find a position that works best for you. So I'm going to go a little bit lower. And so when I'm doing it in the front, you'll notice that my range of motion is quite a bit greater. And I believe this is in my No Springs workbook, this version of doing it front. So you can try that. The other, last but not least, it's not shown in the book, but it's something I discovered. I've got the dual handle and loop, but you can just do the handle or the loop. So I love thigh stretch, but I have a problem, and most of my students have a problem with fear. So just simply holding it here in a hugger tree position, I've got 2 red springs. It's really supportive. It feels really nice. You can also lower the swivel pulleys. And I encourage you to try all these different variations out. I'm going to loop it twice just so I have a little bit. There we go. And just do that thigh stretch and back up. So here is, let me lighten it up. Actually, no, I should be able to do that. Here is, I would say, an advanced variation. Single arm, right arm is up. Start regular thigh stretch, and then add that extension. Be very careful if you have the light reformers, the really, maybe like the plastic or the metal in-home on the floors. It's probably not going to hold your body weight. These are wonderful. So I'm doing on 2 red springs. Granted, I'm 200 pounds. So I don't feel like it's moving at all. I feel it's very supportive. Let's see how far I can go. And back up. Switching arms. So make sure you try all those variations of thigh stretch kneeling. If you don't have the book, get it. If you have the book and you are going through something and you say, hey, Sean, I know you've done quite a few videos on each section, but I wanted to know with my reformer, without having a box, how would you do this exercise? So you can either leave it in the comment section under any video, and I'll make a tutorial on how to do that for you. As I mentioned before in the last few videos, I'm going to be getting a couple different reformers in the next year, so I can start shooting modifications and variations for different reformer heights as well. So I want to make sure that we're addressing all your needs for variations for types of reformers. If you have the metal or if you have the solid wooden reformers, you are absolutely going to love this. I've also done it, last but not least, I'll show you. I always have them all over the place, and today I don't. Here it is. So instead of clipping the strap onto the dowel, just put it through. Obviously, you've got to move yourself back farther. Make sure you're centered, your body is centered, and do it there. So that was the last one that I think that I have been doing lately, and I really like it with the thigh stretch. So covering both thigh stretch variations on the floor, as well as that chest opener with rotation, and enjoy the different variations. If you have a variation that you do and you want to share it with everybody, go ahead and throw it in the comment section, and we'll make sure we address that as well. Thanks so much for watching.